Today, both benchmarks have lost more than 5% of their value as the energy market is staying under pressure. Brent is at risk of finishing this week below $40 per barrel. Meanwhile, the ruble is extending losses and is heading for the mark of 70 against the US dollar. Investors fear that new coronavirus outbreaks reported in the US, China and South America could halt the revival in fuel demand. These worries, along with rising oil inventories in the US, have put double pressure on crude prices. On Thursday, oil is trading moderately lower. At one point, Brent oil futures for August slipped below $40 a barrel. However, the bears failed to maintain momentum. As a result, the North Sea benchmark lost 0.17% and settled at $40.24 per barrel. The American crude was showing similar trajectory and won back some of its losses in the day trade. WTI was last seen trading at $37.70 per barrel. The oil market remains highly volatile today. A day earlier, amid low risk appetite, Brent closed the session losing 5.4%, while WTI fell by 5.9%. The report issued by the International Monetary Fund added more pessimism to the market. The organization has downgraded its outlook for global economic growth, predicting a 4.9% decline in 2020 compared to 3% projected earlier in April. Besides, the news about trade disputes between the US and the Eurozone contributed to the negative market sentiment. On Thursday, traders will be focused on the macroeconomic reports from the US, including the data on GDP growth. Encouraging data and a rise in the US dollar may put additional pressure on oil quotes. As for the ruble, its rally at the beginning of the week was interrupted by renewed fears over the second wave of coronavirus. The ruble lost its ground as risk sentiment dampened and oil prices went lower. Today, the Russian currency has notably retreated against the US dollar. At midday, the dollar-ruble pair was trading at the level of 69.29, having gained 0.6%. In the meantime, the tax payment period in Russia helps offset the negative effect on the ruble, but only to a certain extent. So far, the ruble's trajectory is mainly determined by the external background. In case the market sentiment worsens, the ruble is likely to retreat to the mark of 70 and above against its American rival. Meanwhile, the Russian currency is expected to trade in the range between 69.50 and 70 points against the US dollar, as long as Brent holds at its current levels. The currency sales made by the Bank of Russia may help keep the ruble afloat in the short term. Today, the tax payment period will reach its peak, so the ruble may gain less support from this local factor later on. That's all for now. Thank you for watching and have a nice trading day. Bye.